What if it rained food? What if Earth was a cube? What if we had 9 lives? What if bits could fly? It's absurd. If money grew on trees, if we didn't have knees, if we walked through life slightly magnetical, it's absurd. Absurd Hypotheticals.
Hello everybody and welcome to Absurd Hypotheticals, the show where we overthink dumb questions so you don't have to. I'm your host Marcus Lehner, and I'm joined here today by Chris Yee and Ben Storms. Say hi, guys.
Hey, I'm Chris.
Hey, I'm Ben.
Are you guys ready to goddamn rumble?
I want to fight you right now.
Well, that's perfect, because we are doing a random superpower fight today. We've done a couple of these before, but I'll kind of run through what we do for those who are listening to it for the first time. So, on the internet, there's this wonderful thing called the Superpower Wiki. And it has every superpower, it's a Wikipedia for superpowers, but it has every weird, dumb, obscure power from every minor character, from every little thing. And it has a randomize button.
There are a lot of dumb ones on there.
It's almost exclusively dumb ones, honestly.
We've got a few of them today.
Yeah.
So, what we do is we each spin 3 times, get 3 random powers, and then we'll combine those 3 powers into a superhero, and then we will argue about who would win in a fight between them.
So it's like our other fight episodes, but it's with not real fictional people. It's fictional people we made up.
Well, they are real fictional people. They're definitely fictional because we made them up.
Well, I mean real... Yeah.
They're not
fictional people that don't already
They're not
exist.
established
Yeah.
fictional
Yes.
characters. They only exist here in this episode. So if you want more, well, Chris, maybe you can write a book about them. But other than that, they're not going to happen. I'm actually kind of ready. I kind of want to just dive right in.
Yeah, go for it.
I'm going to start with my origin story. I like doing that. Dirk Gunman was a moderately successful blade thrower.
Awesome name.
And along with his assistant Janice, they put on quite the show. But Janice wasn't just his assistant. She was also practicing with Dirk to become a blade thrower herself. So after years performing, they finally caught their big break. They were going to be the opening act for a huge performance, and the stadium would be packed. On the day of the show, while they were preparing, the event organizer found out that Janice was learning how to be a knife thrower too, and insisted that Janice take on the role during the show and kind of do a switch up where the assistant throws against the knife thrower. Now, this wasn't something they had done before, but they agreed to do it. So, when the big moment came, Dirk realized he'd never actually been strapped to the spinning target before. He quickly became nauseous, and while Janice was throwing the knives, he ended up throwing up, distracting her and hiding himself as a target for just a brief second. But that was all it took. The last thing he saw was a single blade in flight before it impaled his head.
See, this is probably funnier for us because we already know what your powers are.
Right.
Dirk was brought to the hospital and assumed dead. However, he woke up to find that the blade didn't destroy his brain, but did change it, and now he had new powers. And so he didn't put down his knives. He soldiered on as the Wretched Blade. After all, the show must go on.
So the Wretched Blade.
The Wretched
Blade. Sorry, not the Wretched Blade. The Retching Blade.
Retching Blade. Okay.
I wrote it wrong.
That's
That's a big difference. It makes more sense.
Yes, that does make a big difference. So, and it'll make more sense in a second once I get to his powers. So, no surprise, his first power is blade attacks. So, this is the ability to release and use blades to various attacks. This includes blade ball projection, blade beam emission, blade blast attacks, blade bolt projection, blade bomb generation, blade breath, blade bullet projection, blade cutting, which is just using blades to cut opponents, which is not really a superpower.
Radical.
Blade infusion, blade pillar projection, blade spike projection, blade storm creation, blade vortex creation, blade storm generation, blade wave emission. Basically lots of things that start with the blades. This is essentially the ability to make blades appear kind of out of your arms and other things. He has lots of knives, and he's not just good at throwing them, he can just create them out of nothing.
He's a blade bender.
He's a blade bender, like if you're watching Avatar. Second power. This is one that ties it all together. The biological breath. This is the ability to generate from within oneself organic material and release them from the mouth. Basically, he can throw up.
I mean,
Also, not really a superpower.
So, He can throw up any bodily fluid. So there are variations
Ooh.
like
Any. You get to choose.
blood breath or like gas breath or stink breath. But really, it's like the fluids that you can already create, you can throw them up.
So if he throws something up, does he lose it or does he just create it out of nothing? So if he like throws up blood, does he lose blood?
I'm going to say no,
Okay.
because I think the power's bad enough already.
Right,
Right,
yeah.
So he can just, because your ability is also to generate them. So he can I guess he just makes extra blood in like a blood sack and throws that up.
Okay.
Now, my third power, admittedly, didn't make it into the backstory. But after workshopping a bunch of ways to stick it in, the backstory was better without it. But it is energy redirection. So the user is able to reflect energy and energy-based attack from their bodies and release them in a more desirable direction, often back at the source. If we want to stick with our Avatar: The Last Airbender, this is actually when they can redirect lightning. They catch it with like one hand and shoot it out with the other. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kind of combine. There's a bunch of variations on it, so I'm gonna combine it with my other abilities, and say that I can absorb energy attacks with a blade, and then like put it into my body and then throw it up. So it hits my blade, I absorb it from there, and then I can shoot it out of my mouth.
So it's like the blade is your lightning rod.
Yeah, the blade's the lightning rod, and then the mouth is the vomit hole.
Okay. It's an interesting character.
Yep, and that is the Retching blade. Who's next?
I am next.
Oh, cool, because I couldn't find the episode structure fast enough before my sentence ended.
So my character is Tom Hanks.
No fair!
That's super enough already.
I mean, Marcus, you used Obama before, so you can't say anything.
I had reasons.
I sort of kind of have reasons. So Tom Hanks, obviously...
I have reasons. I like Tom Hanks a lot.
Obviously, he's a popular actor. He gets a lot of scripts and stuff. But my version of Tom Hanks, he gets a lot of paper cuts from these scripts, and it's very annoying to him. But he's like super popular, so he gets a ton of them, and it's his career, so he has to stick with it. But so he just deals with the paper cuts. But one day, he found himself at a carnival, and he wanted to go on rides. He wanted to go on like roller coasters. There was one that was called like Super Loops. It was just like a giant loop that he went on. It just goes in a loop. And there's a height restriction, but obviously he's a fully grown adult, so he can go past that. It was actually a cardboard cutout, so it's like he's like holding out his hand as a cardboard cutout, and he was taller than that. But he got a paper cut from the cardboard cutout, and it was very annoying to him. So he went on the ride okay, and then he went to buy cotton candy. He got a paper cut from his money, also very frustrating. All this paper cuts, he's very frustrated. All of a sudden, he sees a fortune teller machine. It's called Zoltar Speaks, and he goes to it, and this is a machine where you can make any wish you want. And he's already a fully grown man, so he doesn't need to wish that he's big. So instead, he wishes...
the only thing a man could desire.
He wishes that he has total dominance over paper cuts because he's so frustrated with them. He's getting them all the time, from the scripts, from the cardboard cutout, from the money. He has lots of money. He gets lots of paper cuts from the money.
Can I pause right here to just remind everybody listening that Chris writes very good science fiction books with very thoughtful narratives that pull together very nicely. And so far, we've got Tom Hanks went to the carnival and hates paper cuts.
I told you ahead of time that my backstory was very dumb. So he makes the wish, and the fortune teller machine spits out a card that says, "Your wish has been granted." And he gets a paper cut on it. It's like, oh, damn it, it didn't work. So he goes to sleep and is disappointed. He wakes up in the morning, and he has new powers. So his first power.
Sorry, I thought there was going to be more.
Nope, that's it. His first power, he can make things wet. That is literally the power. The way I connected this with the paper cut thing is you usually get paper cuts when your fingers are dry. Now he can make his fingers wet. No more
And
paper cuts.
anything else.
Yeah, that's how that dominance over paper cuts was interpreted by the machine.
Mm-hmm.
So he can make things wet. He can make his fingers wet. He can make any object wet. I'm limiting it to he has to be able to see it in order to make it wet. So that's power number 1. Power number 2 is he can actually control paper. I think it's called paper magic. So it says the user is able to perform a form of magic that allows them to utilize paper, either magically or manipulating it or using it to cast spells. And I'm going to say that he can just like move it and control it and fold it without touching it. That's how that power works. So now he can deal with paper without actually touching it. So no paper cuts.
Very good.
And then his third power is tool manipulation. The definition of this power was that the user can create, shape, and manipulate any tool. I'm limiting it to paper-related tools.
Like scissors or like tools made of paper?
So like scissors, staplers, there's staple removers, there's hole punchers.
What about those big paper cutters? Those are dangerous.
Technically, yeah.
As
That's
Chris
paper-related.
frantically rewrites the end of his segment.
Well, I included all like cutting things with scissors.
Oh, okay.
Glue sticks, tape, and paper clips. I mean, there's a lot of paper tools. I don't want to list all of them. But yeah, so he can just control all paper tools, which means that he can basically exact revenge on paper in any way. He can mutilate paper however he sees fit. That's how I connected to the paper cut thing. And his alter ego that he came up with instead, because he was in a lot of movies and he was in Toy Story, he played Woody. Instead of Woody, since he can make things wet, I'm going to call him Wetty.
Oh my god.
Jesus.
So we have Wetty.
The hole puncher was right there.
No, it has to. He's Tom Hanks. He has to be one of his movies. So that's fighter number 2, Wetty, Tom Hanks.
Tom quotations Wetty Hanks.
Yeah.
Did you think of the name Wetty before you decided to make him Tom Hanks, or did you do that because you thought of Wetty and then use Tom Hanks as an excuse to make it that?
No, I thought of Wetty afterwards.
All right, that's better,
Is
but
it?
just a little bit. Ben, yeah, who's your superpower? Is it Tom Hanks?
It's
'Cause that'd
not.
be awkward.
It's not Tom Hanks. It's not Tom Hanks. After I frantically rewritten all my work, but no. So
Tim Hunks.
Tim Hanks, Tam Hanks. No, Jimmy Manger
Ooh.
Fancy.
had a very rare condition called adontia, which is basically where you're born with no teeth. And this obviously sort of, was a pretty rough thing for him. He couldn't really eat much in the way of food. He had to, drink most of his food, and he could eat very soft food, but it wasn't really the same. And so eventually, as he's getting older, his parents finally scraped together enough money to get him some replacement teeth. But unfortunately, his dad's a big James Bond fan. Particularly likes the character Jaws. So he gets him a set of metal teeth.
I don't see how that's unfortunate. That's
Well,
awesome.
I mean, it makes him, it is okay. It's pretty awesome. I'll freely give you that.
It's
one,
metal
actually.
as fuck.
It is metal as
literally
fuck.
and figuratively. But no, you will get made fun of in all the schools for having metal teeth.
Yeah. But now that he actually can eat, now that he has these metal teeth, he decides that he wants to devote his life to eating. He wants to become a competitive eater. So he goes and he signs up and he tries it. And it turns out he's really bad at it because he's never eaten before. So he wants to get better. So start looking for a trainer. But then he realizes he's kind of lazy and wants to sort of get there fast. And he finds this mad scientist instead, who has some really bold ideas on how to help him out here. So he wants to magnetize his jaw so they'll clamp shut real fast and chew real good. And then coat the inside of his throat with a special oil to help him swallow the food faster. And then supercharge his metabolism so he can just burn it, real fast and digest the food real quickly and everything. So, they go into surgery, I guess. I don't know how mad scientists work, but they go in and he comes out and it kind of worked, but it changed him. And suddenly he can magnetize anything and control all sorts of oils and things. And also, is incredibly hungry, and starts eating pretty much everything and growing stronger as he does. And he lets out a cry, which was the name he became known by, as he vowed to eat everything he could, which was Jimmy Eat World. Hey, you started this when you used Fall Out Boy once.
I used Fall Out Boy once.
Oh, you used Fall. Okay, Chris Jarvis used Fall Out Boy once. Sorry, the Fall Out Boy thing felt like a Marcus thing.
I don't know if I should take that as a compliment or not.
I don't think
of it.
I think that was the same time he used Obama. That was the same episode.
Oh yeah, I think you were mad because you were like, I
yeah.
wanted to use the established figure, and I'm like, I used Obama.
Yeah. Anyway, Jenny's powers are magnetization, which is pretty much what it sounds like. It says in the thing that you can magnetize even things that aren't normally like affected by magnetism. I'm going to say that's kind of bullshit and makes it very, very strong and say it's just like things that could be magnetized.
I agree with that sentiment.
So like, you know, metals and stuff. That kind of checks out.
Blades, for example.
Like blades, you know, convenient.
Very, very useful for this fight.
Yeah. Next up is lubricant manipulation, which is basically you can create, shape, and manipulate lubricants.
Oh god, let me just. This is just. I want to go back to the beginning where we talked about this random superpower wiki site. This is a real page on the internet that someone put time and effort into making and posted, and people have edited and commented. And I don't know what the process is of like being on this site and continuously going, but this is here. Someone has done this.
Yeah, and they also one of the known users for lubricant manipulation is Optimus Prime. I don't really know how that one works.
Yeah, I don't understand that.
I just clicked the picture, and there's a picture with Optimus Prime. Pelvis thrust forward,
Yeah, he's
very
pretty
smug,
thrusty.
confident look on his face.
When we mentioned that there were dumb powers in this wiki, this was one of them.
Yeah, this one's
was
pretty
the one,
dumb.
and my wetness one.
Yeah, this one at least has like being able to create lubricants gives some applications. At least I don't know.
Have you read these bullets, Ben? Have you read these bullets?
Yeah, they're pretty great.
Also, I just love applications. You know, besides all the stuff that of manipulating lubricants, detection, lubricants only.
Right. I also
And then
like.
immediately under it, like halfway forgotten, friction reduction.
I would say that's probably the main application, really. So there's that one. And then finally, the one that was kind of like the linchpin of all of it, gluttony empowerment, which is gain strength from gluttony, which is really just gain stronger and whatnot from eating shit.
I'm gonna assume. Do you get weaker when you're hungry?
I would say probably yes. It doesn't. I'm gonna say yes.
It feels like a deteriorating power up, like a multiplier. They have to keep your chain going.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. It's. I wouldn't say that it's like if I don't eat, I will like wither away. But like.
Right. Yeah. It just makes you stronger, and then you lose that strength if you don't eat, but you'll just be like a normal strength.
Exactly. Yeah. You know, just your normal guy who manipulates lubricants and can magnetize things.
Is this one of those ones where you're like Kirby, where you get the powers of things you eat?
So that was one of the ones that they listed. There are a lot of ways this one they like applications they gave that a lot of them were kind of bullshit. I was gonna go more of just like the like sort of generic super strength and speed stuff as I eat.
That's fair.
I just think that's gonna be more like I don't want this to go to cannibalism. Basically, is kind of what I'm saying.
How fast are you saying the strength drops off?
I'd say like digest. Like I think once you eat, you're good for like a couple hours.
So once he eats, he'll probably be good for the whole fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Unless we really wait him out somehow by
Well,
know,
if
throwing up.
if
on
we
him.
like make him run a lot, does that?
I would say that I
He's,
like the
burning
idea
calories.
there's some metabolization angle to it as well. So like I do think that as I'm like using powers.
It's like you have a strength meter, and the strength meter goes down as you use it.
Right. Well, and also I would say that like it maybe it also like feeds into my other powers too, where I kind of have to like feed them a little bit, you know, literally.
Sure.
Oh, okay.
That seems fair.
Yeah, that seems fine.
Okay. So those are our three fighters.
Those are our three fighters.
We didn't decide on locale beforehand, so we're going to default to our go-to Central Park, New York City.
Before we started recording, we were trying to discuss who we thought would have the dumbest backstory. Who do you think has the dumbest backstory?
Oh man. Well, yours is just the plot to Big.
Yes, it is.
Wait, what?
I realized that you didn't realize that, Marcus, and it made me so happy.
Yeah, I realized that too, actually.
I don't know what Big is.
So Big is a movie where Tom Hanks is a little kid who goes to a carnival and can't go on a roller coaster because he's too short. And I don't remember what was the cotton candy thing.
I just threw that in because I
Actually,
wanted to get...
All right. I thought there was something else too. I thought I figured out the cotton candy related. But anyway, he goes to a fortune teller machine and says he wishes he was big. And does the thing, pops up the card and says that his wish was granted. And then he's like, hey, fuck this. I'm not actually big. And he goes to sleep. And he wakes up next morning. He's a full-grown Tom Hanks man. But he's still like an 8-year-old kid.
All right, now I'm in the loop. And anyone else who didn't see that movie's in the loop,
Yep.
which is probably not a big percentage of the people listening.
It's a pretty famous movie.
It is a classic. I would recommend it.
Yeah, it's a very good movie, actually.
It's quite good.
Well, come on over. We'll do a viewing party.
Hey, there we go.
What were we saying before I cut you off?
Dumbest.
Origin story.
Yeah. Dumbest origin story.
Now that I know the plot of Big, Chris is slightly less dumb.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Ben's is dumb.
Ben, I think, is the most solid.
I am shocked by this realization.
Yeah, you made your story way too good, Ben.
It was literally what happened was I had it mostly planned out, and I couldn't quite. So it pretty much like the only way I could get the anything to fit together was the lubricant and gluttony empowerment being like eating fast, and I just went with metal teeth because fuck it, that's the only way it could work.
I thought that was cool. I thought that was a good one.
I'm proud of myself now.
Tied in well. I kind of forget parts of Marcus's answer.
So my guy, just to recap real quickly, was the knife thrower whose assistant was then knife throwing, and he threw up while spinning, which messed up her throw, and then he got stabbed in the head with the knife. But it didn't kill him; it gave him superpowers because that's how.
I'm gonna
work.
say yours is the dumbest.
Pretty
Marcus.
dumb.
It is very dumb.
It wasn't radioactive or anything. It just, for some reason, gave him superpowers.
It got some
It
of
just
his...
rewired his brain a bit.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's like neuroscience. It's like scientific.
Yeah, there was definitely stuff that needed improvement. I mean, I think one thing I went back and forth with was the exact tension between his assistant and him in the big show about why she would be doing the act. And then I just externalized it. But I could have brought in like, the supervillain thing. This could be a whole comic series, guys, I tell you. There's a lot going on here that could be good. But I wrote it, so it's not.
I think the reason I think yours is the dumbest hinges on the fact that you're like inciting incident is just that he didn't realize he'd never been on the wheel before and it made him really dizzy. That's where it kind of, gets there for me.
For me, it's the knife to the brain giving him superpowers.
That's also pretty far up there. Which are probably the two most important parts.
Honestly, better chance of working than the Zaatar genie.
Well, yeah.
Anyhow, let's stop making fun of each other's stories because it's all focusing on me and move on to the fight. So when we don't pick a venue, we default to the Central Park, middle of New York City. It's got trees, it's got rocks, it's got city.
It's got offices with paper.
Yes, it does.
It has food carts.
Yes, it does.
It's got everything that you need for any superhero fight.
Except for a pirate.
Does not have any way for a pirate to be there. Or the coast of Ireland. Which were both relevant ones at the same time.
What? Why am I so lost?
That was the cereal.
Oh, the cereal one.
Yeah.
You guys are vaguely pulling back our first fight episode from 60
throwback,
episodes
man.
again.
Well, I was just saying that anyone that needs water. And I chose a pirate.
Oh, I went specific. Anyway, the point is, we're in New York City.
We really are off track.
Yep.
Okay, so there is stuff going on. I think the first interaction that's obvious is I have blade attacks, which admittedly seems like the most dangerous of all the powers we've listed.
This is true.
But Ben has a very solid power to counter that.
Yeah.
So Ben has the magnetization. So he's magnetizes the blades.
I also basically have the blade power too with my scissors.
They're also magnetized.
They're also magnetized. So Ben really fucks with both of us right off the bat.
They're probably paper tools that aren't metal.
Safety
I was like,
scissors.
oh, you can cover your metal tools in paper, and then they're not That's not how magnetism
That's
works.
not how this works.
Oh yeah, I forgot to say that my name was, instead of Wetty, it was almost Wet Paper Scissors.
That's what paper scissors is
God.
so much. Why didn't you go with that?
It's pretty good, actually. I hate it, but I also like it. I'm very confused.
Wet paper scissors would have been great.
Well, nope, that's my official name is Wetty, so
Yep.
deal with it.
We're committed.
What is the approximate range and strength of your magnets? Are you like Magneto, where you're like just like within a distance of yourself, you can just manipulate them however you want?
I think it's more that it's not so much that I can move metal around, it's that I can magnetize things.
Yeah.
right?
got
So
it.
it's not that I have like magnetic powers, it's that I have magnetization powers. It's a crucial distinction that makes it a little less cool, but also a little more reasonable.
So if I throw a knife at you, how does it look?
Yeah, how do you deal with that?
So what I probably do is I'm gonna be next to food cars, stuffing my face with like hot dogs or like, roasted nuts or something.
Are you going to be stealing this food?
I'm probably pretty scary. I imagine they'll let me have it.
Okay.
I mean, I'm certainly not going to pay for it, I guess, if that's what you're asking. No. But fortunately, food trucks are made out of metal. So sort of in my mind, what happens is you throw a knife at me, I just magnetize the food cart, and it just like slams on into the food cart instead.
Okay, that's okay.
Okay. Yeah, right. So because you limited yourself to the metal so that you can't make
Exactly.
us magnetic.
Right, because like if I can magnetize anything, I just like make you stick to a tree. Yay.
Right,
like
yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
All right, so I don't think I can start by using the blades because it's going to go very wrong very quickly. For
I
me.
know where this is going. I'm very unhappy about it.
So I think what the first step is to prevent Ben from eating.
Yep.
So I think the first thing I'm going to do is just run over to the food cart and throw up all... You know what? I can do any organic matter. I'm going to just like mouth shit all over this all over this food cart.
Would he be able to control your vomit? Is that considered a lubricant?
That's not a lubricant. I wouldn't. It's not just like anything that's wet. It has to be like...
It
It's
reduces
mostly an
friction.
acid, actually.
Like if you put it on something, it reduces friction. That's the definition of lubricant, right?
All right, let's let Google settle this. Is vomit a lubricant?
It can be. You're probably going to find some pretty disturbing things if you Google that.
I was going to say things have to be oil-based. Like grease
I mean,
or oil or whatnot.
You're the one that defines the power, so it's up to you, I guess.
Oh my god. If grease is included, if I buy something with fried food, I can throw the grease at you as you approach. I mean, I guess I could just do that anyway with like my hands, but still, this is more fun.
What did you find, Marcus? It's a dangerous hole to go down.
It really is.
Yeah. Okay, so okay. All right, so here's this, the first result is an article about bulimia, and it says, you can't wear rings on your sick hand, mostly because the vomiting will act as a lubricant and the rings will slide off into the toilet. So it's worried if you throw up on your hand, it will act as a lubricant and your ring will slide off.
I see. I'm going to say no still.
Okay. It's up to Ben, so whatever Ben says.
I can already pretty heavily counter one of Marcus's abilities.
Also, I could. There's lots of gross things I could vomit onto this
Right,
thing that
exactly.
are definitely not lubricant. So I don't know if we need to go down that rabbit hole.
Let's not actually, it turns out.
So I guess the question is, does your superpower make you unnaturally hungry?
My backstory seemed to. I think yes.
So I guess the question is, are you picking up what I'm putting down?
No, I don't think... I don't
like this.
I don't like it either.
This is already our worst fight.
God, this is
It
hands
hasn't
down our
even
worst fight.
started.
I don't think so.
I'm also going to throw this out there. This whole fight, both of you are going to be wet. Just the whole fight. So, just keep that in mind.
At all times?
At all times.
Wet.
It's like your gut reaction. It's like, oh shit, fighting? Okay, you're both wet, and I'm gonna work it from there.
Marcus, clearly your guy is the one with the gut reactions here.
Oh, damn.
I think that what this becomes is me trying to slow you down and me reach other places with food before you can get to them, so I can fuel up.
Okay, yeah. So that's gonna be kind of in our end percentages is whether you can get to the food cart before I can get to the food cart.
Yeah.
Also, how much food do you need? How fast do you go through a food cart?
Let's just imagine he eats it like a comic shark, and he just eats it very quickly and then
Yeah.
has a bunch of energy.
Okay.
That's why I'm kind of seeing in my mind. He's got those big old metal teeth, you know?
Right.
The better to eat you with? I don't know.
I mean, if this was a deep research episode, we would be doing caloric, magnetism energy per caloric intake calculations.
Right,
But I
yeah.
don't think we're not doing that now.
I'm also thinking, how many food carts are there, and is he going to run out?
There are a lot. I also found out there are. Let me hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 actual building establishments in Central Park, along with
so they probably have a lot of food.
3 concession stands, and then
Okay.
just scattered carts as well.
So you're not going to run out anytime
yeah,
soon.
there's gonna be lots of places I can get to. They're a little spread out, but I think if I can get a lead, I can protect my lead with lubricants and super speed. Well, not super speed, but enhanced speed.
Right.
So what are you doing during this, Chris? Aside from making us wet.
Make you wet?
Cool.
I don't know. I can't. So I can basically create water because I make things wet, but I can't control the water. But I can control paper, so I could give you paper cuts.
Okay.
But I can control scissors too. So the scissors are metal though.
Yeah, they're all stuck to food carts.
I can. So paper is absorptive, so I can make the paper wet and then throw wet paper at you.
It is human spitball.
Oh yeah, that was another name
One of
that
the
I threw out.
possibilities.
Spit take.
Spit take, Jesus.
Spit take's also very. Why didn't you use any of the good ones
Wetty.
you came up
Wetty
with?
is my name.
Why?
That's
is
the
it
official
Wetty?
name. Wetty.
Hold on, I'm going to Tom Hanks' IMDb page. Give me a second.
See if you can come up with a better pun than me.
There has to be one. You guys continue.
Honestly, wet paper scissors and spit take are both incredibly good.
What about Lake Gump?
No, Ben, stop. Just the two that he didn't. The 3 candidates he had. One was bad. It was Wetty, and the other 2 were great, and he just didn't use
I'm
them.
going with Wetty. That was my choice. I'm sticking with it.
Well, he's a producer. Hold on. I need as an actor.
Guys, we gotta focus. We gotta focus on this fight.
Okay.
So I'm trying to think, are there any paper tools that aren't metal that would be useful to me? Tape of some sort? I could tape you guys up.
There's tape,
I could
there's
wrap you in
glue. Tape and glue.
But I think anything outside Scotch tape is not a paper tool.
Yeah, I don't know if I can use like duct tape. I don't think that's paper tool.
No, it's not paper.
I would not say it. No.
Scotch tape is very weak.
This is true. And Marcus is covered in blades.
What
Yeah.
about those what are they called? Those clippy things that you make. I don't remember what they're called.
Binder clips?
Well, those have metal. Oh, those are sort of plastic, I guess.
Can you describe them?
The clips that you put on like clotheslines.
Clothespins.
Clothespins. I guess that's not a paper tool because it's
Specifically
It's
a clothes
for
tool.
clothes generally.
yeah.
Or like
Never mind.
chip bags, one of the two. Take your pick.
And binder clips are the ones for paper.
Binder clips. Those have a little bit of metal.
Those do
on
have
them.
metal in them, yeah.
They're made entirely of metal.
Sometimes they're plastic.
Yeah, I'm
No,
thinking
actually,
of the
I
plastic.
think they're
ones.
metal. Actually,
Oh,
they're
really?
definitely all metal.
Where are we? What's the plot right now?
I'm trying to think of a useful tool for me to use that's not metal.
Yeah. What is Chris doing right now aside from making us wet?
I need anything useful that I can do.
Well, I mean, right now, paper is probably the strongest attack out here right now. Like, just a lot of paper.
What am I going to do with the paper? Like,
Cut us up. Paper cuts can kill you.
I guess I can do that, but that's a phrase.
Also, just as an update, his character's name in Saving Private Ryan was Captain Miller. What about Captain Spiller? You know what? I'm gonna close
Ben,
the IMDb
Can
page.
you need to come back to the podcast
Yeah, sorry, okay.
and get off and just stop trying to think of Tom
I
Hanks.
closed the
puns.
tab. Okay, I'm back.
Okay, so if I attack you with paper cuts, what's your counter to that? Either of you.
Okay, so I can manifest blades from my body, so I can work on cutting up the paper as it comes out.
I mean, yeah, that's the natural enemy to paper. So.
I can cover myself in baby oil and the paper will slip right over me.
That's basically my wetness thing, so.
Also true.
Oh yeah, both of you are gonna be wet anyway. So.
Wait a
You
minute.
already
Hold
ruined
on.
yourself.
Oh my god, wait, no. I just realized, Chris, oil and water don't mix. So if you make me wet, I can't cover
Oh.
myself in oil.
Oh yeah. Well,
You
which
can-
one? So if you're covered in oil, I can't make you wet. But if you're wet, then it's the other way around, I guess. It's just whichever one's first.
I don't know how these things interact, so I'm going to say yes.
Okay.
the oil would be on a film on top of the water, so you would be incredibly slippery.
That's fair. You've actually just enhanced my slipperiness powers. I would be so slippy you would not be able to believe it.
Okay. So my paper cuts don't really work anymore.
We can counter the paper cuts. So basically, just like a flurry of paper won't quite do it.
Is there any fire in Central Park?
No.
What's your
No,
plan here if there was?
If I set the paper on fire and then throw the paper at you, you're covered in oil.
Oh.
If I just make a giant wad of paper, light it on fire.
I am also wet.
Well, I can make you not wet.
Well, yeah, I would.
That's my choice.
Actually, can you make me not wet once I'm already wet?
No, I don't think I can.
Sorry, that was just so good. Oh my god, I'm so... Okay, so I was checking to see if any of my stupid bodily fluids could be flammable, and so I put up flammable bodily fluids in Google, and the only relevant result was an article, Flammable Bodily Fluids, from the Superpower Wiki.
Man, if
And you
only
don't
you'd
have
gotten
that
that
power.
one too, yeah.
Yeah.
Would have been really useful. It's a combo right there.
Wait, are farts flammable? Are farts actually flammable?
Would we consider that a fluid? I guess technically it's a fluid.
I mean, I guess it's a fluid. It's not a liquid, but it is a fluid. Yes, it's a fluid.
Okay.
It's not bodily liquids, it's bodily fluids. So, yes, farts would count.
So I could
God,
fill
I hate
the
this
air
podcast.
with I could fill the air with farts and then use my blades to create a spark. I guess blowing everybody up.
Yeah, you
That's
can't
not
control.
great all of a sudden.
You kill yourself too.
Also, if there's a slight breeze, I don't think I can keep up.
Right. We are in Central Park, which is not exactly an enclosed space.
I have the good power to control the fire if I can light it on fire, but I have no way to light it on fire.
So me and you could work together. I could give you a spark.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say that as you guys do this, I could throw oil on you.
Well, I don't have to touch the paper. I can control it away from me.
I see.
And I can be wet.
Okay, let's do it. We have to start coming to some number of conclusions. So let's do it this way. We will do, let's say, the first people to fight. So we'll do kind of like two people interact first, and then the third one comes in and fights that winner. And we'll do who would win between each of us individually, and then we'll see how likely it is. And then I'll multiply some numbers together, and we'll get some percentages.
Just to check, Marcus, by the way, your energy reflection thing does nothing, right?
There, you guys have no energy attacks.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay,
That's what I
just
was-
wanted to clear
I
that
figured.
one up. Yeah.
Okay, so Ben, between me and you, the fight, if it's just me, if me versus you are the first one, is definitely the race to the food cart.
Yep.
I don't have any magic ways to make myself get there faster.
I can slip and slide.
Oh, I could slip and slide too, actually.
I think I feel like Ben's slip and slide would be more effective.
I'm
though.
gonna
Yeah,
have a more
you're gonna have way lower viscosity.
exactly.
on my,
Yeah.
on my thing. Okay, so we're gonna give you, and I think if you get to the food cart first, I'm in a pretty bad spot.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give you 75% of this one, and 25. I'm gonna give myself 25% if I get lucky.
That's fair. Yeah.
Like you just you put too much lubricant down, you slide past it, and like
Yeah,
go
I
down
get
a
caught
hill
in the
or
open,
something.
and I don't have anything to protect me from the blades. Because like even if you know I start magnetizing your blades like together, you just like hit me with a large ball of knives, and that's pretty bad. So
Yeah. All right. Next up, Chris versus Ben.
See, I don't think I can beat either of you without teaming up with someone else. So this one-on-one thing doesn't work out for me.
That's unfortunate for you.
If that's how we're deciding these percentages. But I think if Marcus has a lower chance of beating Ben one-on-one, then he might want to team up with me.
Right. Okay, let's say there is so it's Chris plus Marcus.
Yeah, so I think both of us have a very good chance of beating Ben, actually, with that fire
Very
paper thing.
good is maybe stretching it a little bit.
I'm going to say 60%, 60-40.
For us teaming up on him.
Or maybe it's like 60, 35, and a 5% chance we all blow up because we'd mishandle fire.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I can accept that.
I mean, I can perfectly control the fireball. I have that power.
Yeah, but Ben's going to be throwing oils around.
Yeah.
I guess that's true. Okay.
I also included in that 60% is some chance where it's just like I'm so distracted by Chris's paper that Marcus can like sneak up and stab me or whatever.
And I think it's maybe, what would you say the odds that me and Chris team up are? Like 50-50 maybe?
I don't know.
I would say it's half of the time that you would lose on your own against me. So like 38-ish%. Math is hard.
I'm just going to say 40% of the time,
Sure.
just me versus you, and 40% of the time.
We do science on this podcast.
Yeah, I have a spreadsheet. I did not think I would need a spreadsheet, but I have a spreadsheet going.
We always do a spreadsheet on these, don't we?
Do we?
I think Marcus always ends up doing some sort of percentages in Excel.
I sometimes do. I don't always.
Yeah, sometimes we just eyeball it. Anyway.
All right, so this is. Are we having any other scenarios we need to add to this? Because either me and Ben go head to head, or me and Chris go head to head against Ben. What about Chris and Ben teaming up?
So what can we do against Marcus together?
So I guess the thing about that is I guess we should still figure it out, but this probably just ends in any of the ones where the two of us team up and beat Marcus, I win, right?
Well, no, the only difference is that if you guys team up against me, there's only fire when Chris and me come together.
Mm-hmm. There's just paper.
So you two versus me basically is Chris stopping me from getting to the food cart until you get to the food cart.
Pretty much, yeah. And I kind of just take over.
So I'm gonna put it in just for the percentages.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say there's a 10% chance that you and Chris team up,
That's fair.
Okay.
and then there's a 0% chance I win there.
Well, what do we do against you? Why is there?
I think my blade attacks are ineffective against the magnetism,
Oh right.
and you can absorb all my biological shit with your paper, like toilet paper.
Just like throw napkins at him.
That's true.
Yeah, you can cover me with fill my mouth with napkins and then just magnetize me like into the ground.
Yeah.
Okay.
I magnetize two like food carts on either side of you, and you like get squashed into like a very funny comedic pancake.
And then if it's just me me and Chris defeat Ben, then it's between me and you. But you have fire now,
Yeah, in that scenario, I have a giant fireball.
which definitely gives you a good chance. So let's say you have a 80% chance to win there.
Okay.
That seems fair.
I still think me and Marcus versus Ben, we have a higher chance than 60-40.
All right, let's say
Because he's covered in oil. We are not.
Well, but I can also move the oil off of myself. Like that's the thing is, if I'm not like distracted and I don't like, if you can't surprise me with it, I can like.
I guess that's true too. Okay, never mind.
You convinced me. I'm going to go with 75%. Me and Chris do a good job.
No, that's fine.
But it's still the most likely scenario to happen is me
Yeah.
and Ben square off. So you're gonna win, Ben. I mean, spoilers.
Yay.
So you have this times this plus this times this, and then I have this times this plus
Probably gonna cut all this out.
this times this times this, and everyone dies is this times this. Does that add up to 1? I hope so. All right, this adds up to 1. We did it.
We did
Yay,
it.
basic math.
This is not basic math. I had to multiply like a bunch of numbers together. All right. In last place is everyone dies at 1.8% of the time.
1.8%.
I'm going to do these orders of the most obvious to least obvious. In first place is Ben with 58% of the victory points.
That feels right.
That's reasonable.
Second place, Chris with
What?
21%, and then me with 19%. Because what happens is, in both scenarios of either teaming up or going 1v1, mano a mano, Ben, I have a bad chance of winning.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So I got like a 0.25 and a 0.2 and a 0 is what I'm kind of like as my win percentages in all those scenarios.
And it's because you have to team up with me to beat Ben.
Well, no, I don't have to. I don't have to team up with you to beat Ben. So 25% of the chance of the time I just beat Ben and then beat you. On the 55% of the time, on the 55% of the times that me and Ben square off, 25% of them I get to fight you and do fine. But yeah, I just am not winning a lot in any scenario. So third place, only by a little bit. We're only 2 percentage points apart. So
I'll take it.
me and Chris are both effectively at 20%. So that's basically a tie. And then
Nope, technically winning.
And then Ben takes home this one with what was your stupid name?
Jimmy Eat World.
Yeah, that was Jimmy Eat World is the victor here. Jesus. Okay.
I'm glad we met in the
We did it.
middle. I realized I never name dropped any Jimmy Eat World song, and that's the only one I know is the middle. So I'm gonna say that one, I guess, is my reference here.
All right, guys. And by guys, I mean Ben. Since you're the winner, you get to answer
What?
first.
Not me. Oh.
Would you rather your plants or your goldfish talk to you? Assume you have at least one of each.
Okay, just to be clear, when you say your plants, you mean specifically plants that I have.
Yes.
So not like all trees. It's only the ones that you own.
Yeah, it's the plants that you own. Would you rather they talk to you or your goldfish talk to you?
So I don't currently have any plants.
You
or
can also
goldfish,
buy more
but-
goldfish.
Right, yeah. Oh, so this is... so here's the problem, is that if I were to own plants, I would have an herb garden. And if I had an herb garden, I would eat the herbs. And if they talk to me, that gets complicated. So pros, it makes it easier to care for them, which will make them healthier and therefore more delicious. Cons is that I'm going to eat them.
I think in the long term, it's not going to make them healthier because they're going to resent you. And they're...
Well, no, because they don't know.
Well, they're going to see me pick them. Like,
Well, you harvest all at once.
not necessarily. With like basil, you can pull off some leaves.
You should harvest all at once if your plants
If
can
they
talk
can
to
Yeah,
you.
if
speak,
you
you should
should.
probably harvest all
Yeah,
at
in this
once.
scenario, you would
Yeah.
have to.
So that would complicate any herb garden I would have. But if I had harvest all at once...
Would this weigh on your conscience at all?
No, probably not.
Then we'll become the opposite of a vegetarian.
Yeah, I would eat to silence the voices.
You can't talk to animals, so
Yeah.
you don't care
Come on.
about the animals.
Well, they just did a study that found out that plants scream at a supersonic frequency when they're stressed and in pain.
Yeah, I think you actually mentioned it on a previous episode.
Well, I'm going to mention it again because it's a cool
I don't know
fact.
if you mentioned it on the episode or just in our group chat. Regardless, I'm glad that now other people have been exposed to this fact because it kind of shook me a little bit. Yeah, I don't know. What does talking to your goldfish get you?
I mean, goldfish have a really small memory, right?
No, that's a myth. I mean, they're not smart, but the memory thing is kind of a myth.
Yeah.
It's not like a 3-second memory. They're not going to be like Dory up your whole fish tank.
I mean, I feel like if I can talk to my goldfish, he's going to be like, dude, it's real boring in here. Put on some Netflix or something while you go to work. I have to do that. That's going to kind of
Wait,
suck.
it's just American Dad.
It is.
It's just the fish from American Dad.
I mean, the end game here is that my goldfish spoils The Witcher for me, which sounds not great. So,
Ooh, that's gonna be... Well, you can't get the remote, so we can't start it.
well, no, but like if your fish keeps being like, dude, I'm really bored when you're at work. Can't you just put something on for me? You're gonna put on something.
Oh, yeah, true. And okay, what's worse? Is it worse if your plants figure out how to order things on Amazon, or if your goldfish figures out how to order things on Amazon?
How would they do that?
Hey, Alexa, order me, please. Order this, please.
Can't they only talk to you, or can they actually talk?
I interpreted it as like a Dr. Dolittle type of thing where only you can hear them.
Oh, yeah, let me see if it's talk to you or talk.
Quick thing, speaking about Dr. Dolittle, I heard apparently in the movie, the one that came out with Robert Downey Jr., so apparently the climax of that movie involves him solving a dragon's constipation by pulling bagpipes out of its ass.
Not seeing that movie.
Yeah, I heard it's pretty not good. Like, pretty not good.
You want to talk about a bad superhero origin story?
Yeah.
I'm the ass piper!
What was Marcus looking up? He was looking up something, right?
Oh, yeah, I was thinking of something, but I don't remember what.
I was checking to see if it said talk to you or talk in general. It's talk to you, specifically.
So what does that mean? Only you can hear them, or
Only you
what?
can hear them.
You can, your brain interprets it as words, and everyone else just hears like, bloop, bloop, bloop.
Important question. Can they talk to each other if it's plants or goldfish?
Well, in this hype, it's a would you rather, so only one will talk.
No, but like, would the plants talk to each other where they know I was coming for them?
Oh, I guess your herb thing. I was imagining like you only have one plant that can talk to you.
It says plants. It says plants.
Plants.
It does say plants.
Yeah,
Okay,
the
so
plants.
you can have multiple, I guess. Can they talk to each other?
Sure, let's say they can talk to each other.
Shit. Now they know.
I think the issue is I think goldfish have more to complain about.
Yeah, that's kind of what I keep coming back to.
I feel like the goldfish is more miserable than the plant.
Well, I'm trying to gauge their intelligence level. Like, would a plant be smarter than a goldfish? Are plants intelligent?
No, they don't have brains.
So what would their thoughts be?
Just what is it? Not characterize them, anthropomorphize them, so that they have a like
So it's just normal
basic
human
level,
thoughts.
like they're like 8-year-old intelligent.
Oh, now I feel really weird eating them.
How about we just say it's like if one of us was a plant or if one of us was a goldfish?
They can express their wants and desires and communicate them to you effectively.
Okay.
How about that?
Okay.
Do goldfish want to watch The Witcher on Netflix?
You and The Witcher.
I think a plant is more content. A plant like
How do you know that?
so like what a plant needs, like
What a plant wants, what a plant needs.
like a plant is a plant and goldfish are both confined to one spot, but a plant can't move otherwise, so it's stuck there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if they might prefer to be inside if they have better lighting and they're safe from all the cold and winters and things. A plant might be like, this is a good gig. I feel like a goldfish is going to have some wanderlust.
I guess if I've learned anything from Finding Nemo, then yeah.
Nope, I just cracked it. You want your goldfish to talk because you can talk back and you can teach your goldfish tricks, and you can't teach a plant tricks.
I thought of something on the herb front. What if,
Go on.
So what you're removing with the herbs, like, it doesn't, if you pick some, like, leaves off your basil
Are you
plant,
still in the moral quandaries of harvesting
yes,
talking
I am.
plants?
This is important because this is going to sway my vote, Marcus.
This is the issue that's important to me.
If you pick the leaves of, like, a basil plant, it doesn't kill the plant. It's like giving it a haircut.
It's like cutting off its arm.
But no, because it stays alive.
It's cutting off one of its many, many stomachs.
right.
If you want to
kind
draw
of,
the
yeah.
metaphor.
It does grow back, though.
It grows back.
But it hurts it, probably.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, it's nice you have to hurt the things you love.
That's another strong reason for goldfish is I don't normally amputate my goldfish, but plants get trimmed.
But see, you have to trim plants.
They're not going to like it. They don't agree with
It's
that
for their own
statement.
good. They'll learn.
They don't agree with
They'll
that
learn
statement.
I'll
They-
eat them.
I don't think they agree with it.
All right, we're at
voting portion.
We're at voting stage now. Chris, you I don't know what you're thinking. So what do you think?
So I think Ben's whole moral dilemma with his moral struggle with the plant thing has swayed me towards goldfish.
To be fair, that only applies if you're going to grow herbs. If you're just going to have, like, a lily or something.
Well, you just said you're supposed to trim plants. All plants.
Well, yeah, but, like, okay, fair.
And the trick thing. I like the trick thing, too. So I'm going goldfish.
What tricks can a goldfish even do?
It can jump through a little hoop, Ben.
Are they capable of that? Can they generate enough thrust to jump?
They can roll over.
That's just dying.
They can play dead.
It's just dead, Chris. It's not a trick.
They can...
Your goldfish can go through hoops. It can do a little obstacle course under the water. It can blow bubbles. It can, like, you can get multiple goldfish and have them do synchronized swimming.
It can draw things on the glass.
Yes.
Okay.
What can your plant do, Ben? Nothing. It sits there. It has no muscles.
Yes, this is true. However, think about how good the herbs would taste if they could tell you they need more water and shit. Like, come on.
I would feel guilty if I grew herbs and talked to them and then ate them.
Ben, this is the answer time, so you can't reopen the debate floor. You have to pick one.
I have. It's plants.
You're a monster.
I'm a monster. I know. I don't care. It'll be delicious.
I'm gonna stick to eating meat.
I'm gonna pick goldfish.
The other thing, too, is I eat a lot of fish, and now it's going to be really awkward if I have a goldfish I'm talking to.
The only reason to pick plants is if you are Zach Galifianakis and you don't want to get guests anymore, and your show Between Two Ferns is just going to be you talking to your ferns. It's the only reason.
That's a pretty good reason.
Well, if no one else can hear it, it's going to really drop the show ratings down a bit. And then you get canceled, and you can't make any more money, and then you're done.
And the plants die.
And then you die in a ditch.
I guess if you talk to plants, you can learn what the optimal way of growing plants is. And you
Exactly.
can use it as information for other people and then sell a book.
Are you guys going back to the freaking moral quandaries of
No.
murdering herbs?
This is a pragmatic thing.
Yeah, this is a practical thing now.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was going to use the going broke thing that I was setting myself up to transition into the part where we ask for money.
Oh.
So if you don't want us to be broke Zach Galifianakis literally talking to his true ferns exclusively, you can go to our Patreon page at www.patreon.com/absurdhypotheticals and become a patron to our show. Your support means the world to us. Also, you get access to bonus content. We do a behind-the-scenes episode every single month, and it is awesome. It's a lot of fun. It's laid back. We talk about the previous month's episodes, how we make the show. It's a bit casual, chit-chatty. It's awesome. I love doing them. They're my favorite episode to record.
We're probably going to talk about how dumb this episode was.
Oh, yeah. We're going to talk about these origin stories, and you thought we ripped each other a new one on this, talk about which one's the dumbest. We are going to lay into each other violently. Even though we're record remotely, it's going to be rough. So, I don't know. Don't wet yourself, because Chris will do it for you. But in any case, please come join us next week, where we answer the following question. What if you got 1% lighter every month?